We heard before Christmas that the motorway bridge for Badminton Rd is having to be demolished and rebuilt. So Claire and I are here with Terry and Sean from National Highways for an update of what's been happening over the last couple of months.
We were last here in December when National Highways had just announced they were going to have to keep the bridge closed and then demolish it. What's been happening since then, Terry?
Yeah, hi Claire. It's been quite hectic actually since Christmas. You may not have seen a great deal of work going on site actually, but there's been a lot of work going on in the background. There's been a lot of negotiations, a lot of design work and correspondence with all of the utilities that we've got to move from the bridge and trench underneath the M4 before we can demolish the bridge. The physical works that we've been doing has been at night, so we've been doing a lot of ground investigation works. There's been some vegetation clearance. There's been a lot of finishing off of ecological survey. The current depth of construction of the bridge is a very slender bridge because of the type of bridge it is. What we'll be putting back is actually a lot deeper, so we're trying to tie all those levels in so that we don't have to affect things like the entrance at Cuckoo Lane here or the run up to the roundabout, because the last thing we want to do is have to have roadworks out there on the roundabout itself on the Bristol Ring Road. So We're trying to tie those in. So there's a lot of playing around with numbers and figures and geometric layouts as well.
We've heard about what you've been doing. What are the next steps?
Okay, Claire, so the plans for the future are starting to crystallise, and everything I'm going to say now comes with a bit of a health warning because it's very dependent on negotiations with other bodies. But what often gets forgotten with the bridge is that there are a significant number of utilities buried within it. So before we go over the M4 with the new bridge, we first have to go under the M4 and take high pressure gas mains, water mains, fibre optics, HV cables. We have to take all of those under both carriageways of the M4. So in terms of broad timelines, we're starting to be able to tell you that, and what we're looking to do is to culvert under the M4 around the mid-June period. That's the plan, again subject to those negotiations which are ongoing and are coming to something of a conclusion. And then we're looking at demolition, as we said before, around September, October, towards the end of the summer. And the good news there is that shouldn't affect the construction programme that follows on. So the implications of that is that the bridge will be available, hopefully, for pedestrians and cyclists for a longer period, perhaps 3 months more than we first envisaged.
So we're now on the Ring Road, just in front of the Willie Wicket Metro bus stop. Now you're going to be doing some work in front of this without affecting the bus stop. Can you just talk us through what that will be, please?
Yeah. Okay, Ian. So over the coming months, we're going to have to establish a site compound. So that's going to be in the field behind us. Obviously, there will be some site clearance in there going on, but we will be establishing some an in and an out to the site. So there'll be some roads off the back of the lay-by here that need to be constructed. Obviously, that'll all be returned to how it is now at the end of the contract. But so we'll have access into and out of the site compound off of the Ring Road itself. So deliveries, supplies, things like that will be coming in that way. We'll also be doing some work out on the M4 as well. So most probably at the same time as we are doing the service crossings, we'll start to establish a couple of temporary haul roads that will go from the M4 into the compound, where we'll be crushing and reusing the old bridge for aggregates for the new structure as well.
So you've been doing some work already, some exploratory work in the site here, clearing a bit of vegetation, and I understand you've found some interesting visitors in there.
Yes, so part of the ecological surveys is we're looking for what wildlife is in there, and we found dormice or evidence of dormice being present. So that's affected us a little bit in that it slowed the vegetation clearance down because we need a dormouse licence from Natural England. So once we've obtained that will give us the specification that we've got to work to. So we'll have an ecologist on site working with the gangs that will be clearing the vegetation. So it'd be that, and we'll be into bird nesting season then as well.
Yeah.
So we'll be looking to see that we don't disturb any of the nesting birds as well.
So it's a real narrow window of opportunity there.
It is
to clear the space and it will be returned back to the natural environment that we have at the moment when the work is all done.
Yeah, so at the end of the contract, although we'll be clearing it, we'll be establishing things like internal roads and site huts, things like that, welfare facilities. At the end of the contract, all of that will be returned to its current state.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that will be very reassuring to a lot of people. Thank you, Terry.
Okay.
So thank you to Sean and Terry from National Highways for joining us again today. We'll be coming back here for more updates in the coming months.